Very simple, guys, as you can see. Now let's bypass everything and listen to the piano without the processing. Hi guys, welcome to the channel. I'm back after a short break. I just felt like I needed some rest to step away a little from the social media, but I've got some great news. So I'm getting a studio soon, hopefully by the end of this month, and my financial situation is much more stable now, so I will have some money to pay the bills, pay for the rent, although I still get some income, so it's really good, and I can finally focus on making music, growing the YouTube channel, growing my social media, and yeah, things are going really well. And today, guys, I'm going to be teaching you how to make your piano sound like in those commercial tracks. And just before we start, guys, I want you to do a couple of things. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment below, click that nice little bell icon so you trigger the algorithm, and this will help the channel grow faster. And also, if you are looking for mixing, mastering, personal lessons, mentorship, ghost production services, the link will be down below. And also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram here. Now let's start with the tutorial. And with the second piano, the loop sounds pretty cool. I'm using chords from the Unison MIDI pack, and if you guys are looking for a tool which will help you to make a pro level chord progressions, make sure to check this video out. I will put a link at the end of this video, so make sure to check it out. And yeah, let's now start with the tips. So my very first tips for you guys: if you want your piano to sound good, make sure to choose the right VST or the library. It's the most important one, as always in music production. So the thing, like the sound which you are working with is the key, basically. So if you have like a bad starting material like loops, samples, it's not going to work. It's not going to work, because you can't make a bad sound good, and this applies basically to everything. And here I have, so let this one be white and this one orange, and I found like a really cool piano, but it's like iconic, classic. It's Korg M1, and it has that signature sound which you can hear in a lot of pop and other kinds of dance music tracks, and it just sounds really good. It's recognizable. I mean, people will get this sound like straight away. So if you are looking for this classic sound, let me quickly show you. So it's Korg M1. I have a Legacy Edition. It's really simple, but it sounds really good. And on its own, yeah, so it just sounds good. This is what I like about this piano. And and the second tip, guys, is try working with the velocity. So as you can see, we have the velocity, and what you can do, so let's do like that, and we can play around with the velocity and with the groove. So you can, in Ableton, so we have the groove library, where the groove, so yeah, we can apply like some groove. Let's just choose any and try on the piano. It works both on the chords, leads, sounds like that, and the drums. So it's a really nice thing to use. And we've played around with the velocity, so we have like a contrast, because if you imagine like a person playing the piano, he's not gonna play like every single note with the same strength. And this is the issue with the with the MIDI when we are working on the computer. So make sure to work with the velocity, and now let's listen to chords. I think this one, it's just a bit too quiet, but it still sounds good. And yeah, you can just play around with the velocity and find like the balance when it sounds good, but it also has some dynamics and contrast between the loudest and the quietest part of your chords. Okay, so let's move to the third tip. The third tip is EQing your piano and basically just any instrument. And this is my default preset for the equalizer, so I don't have to do like the same thing over and over again. And yeah, basically what I am doing is that I'm cutting the low end. We can do something like that. It will depend how low your piano is, but like usually I would cut around like 1 to 100 with a low cut and with the low shelf filter. So we free up this space for the vocal, for the kick and bass and other instruments in the mix. Now let's listen together with the drums. Now let's bypass. I think with the equalizer, the piano sounds much cleaner, and this is what we are looking for at the end of the day, because we want to get that nice and clear, transparent mix. And you can play around with the settings here as well. Maybe we could cut like here, maybe here. Like it will depend on the key of your track. So the lower is the piano, the lower frequencies we will have to cut. But yeah, it's really simple, but don't overdo it with the equalizer. You just need to make those small adjustments. No need to, you know, cut 6, like 10. But okay, 6 is maybe okay, but like over 10, 12 dB, there might be something wrong with the sound. So it's better if you go back to the sound design, sound selection stage and replace the sound instead of, you know, trying to work it out with the compression, saturation, EQing. No point doing that. So yeah, I think we could cut somewhere like here. Maybe here. Yeah. The next step is compression, guys, and compressing your instruments, whether it's a vocal, maybe guitar. I'm talking about the instruments with a high dynamic range. So if we're talking about the synths, it's not always necessary to compress a synthesizer, but sometimes yes. But with the piano, it's just a good thing to compress it, you know, to smooth the dynamics so it sits better in the mix and, you know, works with the groove of your track. So let's try and compress this this piano. The important thing here, guys, is that you need to use the equalizer at the end of the chain. So first one is saturation. We'll talk about that just in a second. The second thing is compression, and you can put the additive EQ, like when we are boosting frequencies with analog emulations. I prefer putting it before the compressor, so it squeezes the sound and we get that nice and warm sound. And at the end of the chain, I'm using the EQ to just cut all of those unpleasant, harsh frequencies, basically. And for the compression, I would choose pretty long tag time. So I mean, yes, it depends on the specific sound, on the context of your track, of the mix, but usually the longer attack time, it keeps the transients and for live recorded instruments, I think this is exactly what we need. And I'm going to use some sidechain, maybe like that. And now let's find the right value for the threshold. Yeah, should be enough. Yeah, I've played around with the attack time here, and it's actually pretty short, but I think the piano still sounds nice. In this video, I want to discuss like how compressor works, and you know, you should be familiar with compression. I just want you to give some like tips how to use it to make your piano sound better. Basically, when you are working with compressor and the attack and release time, you need to pay attention, in this case, to the drums, to the kick. So I've chosen this value because I felt like it sounds best with the kick and the hats and the drums. This one also works. So I think let's choose the longer attack time. The next step is saturation. I mean, you can use any saturator you'd like. So let's maybe use this one. This is one of my favorite ones. So what we can do, I usually split my sounds into different sections. So let's maybe do this for the mid. We can boost some of the high end. Yeah, sounds good. And the low part of the piano, we can reduce the volume. Yeah, it really depends like what kind of sound do you want to get, but when working with saturation, it really depends on the sound you want to get. So in this case, I was just, you know, playing around with the bands of the piano. But I mean, it's okay if you want to choose just one single band and saturate it and maybe EQ it inside this plugin, basically. Yes. Yeah, I think with the saturation, it's really simple, guys. Yeah, nothing really complicated here. Just maybe split the bands, choose the right values, you know, for the drive, for the dynamics. Maybe you want your piano to be more dynamic, maybe you want it to be like more saturated. But yeah, just depends on the context of your track and the mix. And one more thing we could do with the piano is add some spatial effects like delay, especially smaller delays. I'm going to show you how to use that. Chorus, flanger, phaser, those kind of effects are really cool on the pianos. And yeah, let's put the Echo Boy. And here you can find, should be somewhere here, FM piano warmer. You can hear that the piano got some character to the sound, and if you play with the time parameters, with the feedback, and this delay plugin has a lot of interesting sections like for sound design. This is my favorite one, by the way. And yeah, you can maybe add some, let's try to add some maybe chorus or phaser, actually. Phaser flanger. So I want to do phaser. And dry wet, let's do it maybe like 20%. Yeah, and finally guys, let's boost some frequencies with the analog emulation. I'm gonna use the Pultec before the compressor, and yeah, we can just boost some frequencies here. So for example, like here, maybe boost some here, boost some low end, maybe 60. I think 60 is gonna sound good. Very simple guys, as you can see. Now let's bypass everything and listen to the piano without the processing. I mean, yes, it sounds okay, but now let's check one more time with the processing. And let's check the second piano. I'm just gonna copy the settings. So let's quickly copy. And basically, when we are talking about, you know, more realistic pianos, it's almost the same thing. The only difference is with the EQing, because sometimes the more realistic pianos, they can have more mud, more resonating frequencies. So let's check it out. I think I want to try and remove something here. And maybe boost some high end. Yeah, basically, in a nutshell, is almost the same thing as with the Korg M1. So yeah, that was everything for today, guys. I hope that you've learned something, hope that this video was useful for you, and don't forget to check out my other videos. I will put those at the end of this video, and also make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave the comments, follow my Instagram profile, all of those things. As always guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.